Hello and welcome to another episode of the Aamchi Legends. Of course, we're coming after almost a gap of a month plus, but we have a guest who's going to make up for that time that we lost. And we have an awesome, amazing guest joining on this episode of Aamchi Legends from Ahmedabad. We have with us Mr. Shirish Divgi. Shirish Mam, I will call him accordingly. He's the managing director of at Milacron India, and very soft-spoken person. I happened to speak to him before recording this show. We'll get to know a lot about it. So, Shirish Mam, welcome to Aamchi Legends.
Thanks a lot, Santosh ma'am. In fact, it was very surprising and very pleasant for me to get your invitation. Uh, in fact, I don't at all consider myself as legend because I know there are so many legends in our community, and I have learned from them. I have heard them, like your own interviews with various people. Those are the legends. So I'm just a learner. So I don't consider myself as legend at all. But I am very, very happy to be a part of this program where I can learn and share my experiences.
Sure. Thank you, Shirish Mam. So, coming back to the first question I have for you, your education, your raising up happened in Kumta. So, can you share your journey from Kumta and how did this happen that you're now at Milacron India?
Sure, sure.
Long
You are
question.
actually you are making me nostalgic because those days are wonderful. I was born and brought up in Kumta, in a humble family. My father was a lawyer in Kumta,
Mm-hmm.
and my mother was a housewife. And I feel today so fortunate to be elder son of my parents, who really taught me the basics of the life and how to face the struggle and all.
Yeah.
Principally, I think if you ask me what are the contributions of parents, in fact, that is true for everybody, I can say. My father taught me, he put me into sports and he made me ready for any eventualities.
Mm-hmm.
He was a beautiful badminton player, and I learned badminton from him, and I took it further. Sports was my passion as the years passed by. My mother, again, she was a fantastic human being, and I think a lot of qualities which you imbibe from your parents help you a lot in your career. And today I think those are the things which are holding my feet on the ground. So uh, now, taking further in from Kumta, I did my primary education, pre-university education in Dr. A.V. Baliga College. I again feel that I should really thank my teachers, who were wonderful. I mean, it was a small town, but they always pushed me to go further to Karwar level, to Bangalore level. And I represented in sports. I was various, those times there were no internet and
Yeah.
things like that, but these teachers actually exposed us to wonderful things, like even national anthem competition, elocution competitions. These are the things which they exposed, and that is where we gained our confidence, and which is really helping me even today.
Yeah. True.
So, Kumta was a place where I feel that I was really very, very lucky to be born and brought up at. From there, I got fortunately a seat in engineering college, and that's also a small, blessings from Swami Parijnanashram. I got good marks, but I didn't get the seat in engineering in the first list. So
Mm-hmm.
my father was very worried. He went and met Swami Parijnanashram, and Swamiji said, "Kalji kor na kare, main tal hain." And believe me, within a week, I got a telegram to join Basveshwar Engineering College in Bagalkot. And
Uh-huh.
the rest is history. I passed out with flying colors. So I was in Bagalkot for my engineering. And I should mention here in Bagalkot, one Dr. Rajiv Chandavarkar and his wife Meena Pachi. She's also a great personality in Aamchi
Yeah.
community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Meena Chandavarkar. They were like my parents there. They took care of me whenever I was sick. They used to take me to their home and take care of me. So somehow I feel that I really got uh, very good care, and uh, you know people took care of me very well. And today, whatever I am, I should remember all those wonderful people who played a very, very important place in my life. From there, I finished engineering and came to Bombay. In fact, let me tell you, I came to Bombay with just 100 rupees in my pocket.
Okay.
And that's the time when all my uncles, like of course, Dr. Bhavani Shankar Divgi. He was mayor of Mumbai.
Yeah.
I used to stay in their house. Of course, at that time, Shankar Bappa was not there. But his sons, and of course Ajit Bappa was in uh, US.
Yeah.
But Jaya Bappa, Jay Shri Pachi, all these uncles and aunts, they took wonderful care of me. In fact, my first interview I was so nervous to give interview. Shailesh Kulkarni, he
Yeah.
gave me, I mean, he was my elder brother. He gave my interview
Okay.
because I was nervous.
Interesting.
I'm just referring these things because these are the people who actually make you stand in front of society and make you more confident and learn a lot of things. So that's how I started working in the industry. Joined Klockner Windsor in 1995. Before that, I had some problem with my health. I had a severe pain in my stomach, and Dr. Mudur, A.N. Mudur, who later on happened to be my father-in-law, uh, uh, he took care of me. He made sure that I was admitted to hospital in time, did the operation, all that. So I mean, I was fully taken care by my relatives and my uncles and aunts. Um so started working in Windsor with a very, very low salary, but I was very clear. I wanted to learn everything which I saw. I was an electrical engineer, but I did not hesitate to get into mechanical engineering or plastics or electronics or software. I did everything which came in my way.
Okay.
And probably that helped. And I always feel that the learning ability which came from the sports and the passion to perform in sports, that probably helped me to fight the battles in the real life. So joined Windsor, worked for Windsor for almost 10 years. And when Windsor started a new factory in Ahmedabad, at that time it was pre-Modi era.
Okay.
It was 1995. So I was asked to work in Ahmedabad, and everybody said, "Why are you Bombay? Leaving Bombay, why are you going to Ahmedabad?" Ahmedabad was not considered as an industrial
That point
city,
in time. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I was very clear. If you want to reach higher heights, you have to take challenges.
Yeah.
And it was a new startup, and I thought I could learn everything, including setting up the factory and construction things and all. So I accepted the challenge. I came and stayed here in a remote place called Kalol. From there, I started my, the second innings of my career. Uh, uh, I mean, that went very well. We did a lot of good things. At that point of time, the machines were the first generation machines where it was all hand controls, and there was no microprocessor controlled, or precision was not the name of the game. It was just making the products.
Yeah.
Precision came in 1995 with the controls, PLCs, CNC controls. So it was a wonderful opportunity at Windsor to learn all these things. I went to Germany, brought some technologies, learned some technologies there, came back here. We built some very nice computer controlled machines. And I mean, that's how we started offering the products to plastic industry with which can make the higher end products, like in electronics,
Okay.
in medical applications, in automotive applications. So these were the initial days. And it was all going very well. But I got another opportunity whereby my mentor, even today, and a great industrialist, Mr. Mahendra Bhai Patel, he started a new factory in Ahmedabad, and he wanted me to join. So I joined Milacron. I was the first employee of the Milacron at that time.
Wow.
When Mahendra Bhai asked me, I would like you to join, I didn't even ask him, where are you taking me? I just said, yes, I'm with you. So that was the kind of trust we have developed with each other. And today, I mean, I'm managing director, but I know that day I was just a normal employee, and Mr. Mahendra Patel, who saw something in me, he supported me, he guided me, and today whatever I am, I think the major part is Mr. Patel for me.
That's great. So you joined Milacron way back, I guess, in 1996, and you're one of the first employees. So the journey from 96 to 2022, you've seen the company literally, grow, right, or build, I would say. So how has been that journey? And you, at the same time, the journey for India, the growth story in India. How would you correlate that with your own career and your company?
Sure, ma'am. As I said, Milacron was absolutely a greenfield project. We started with, not even a land, not even a product, but we were very fortunate to be invited from Milacron India. So we had a team of 17 people. We all, and I led the team. We went to US. In fact, I stayed there for 6 months and learned all these different levels of machine technologies. And we were very clear, if we have to build a business in India, it has to be India centric. It cannot be US centric. So we did lot of research and work, and even sitting in US, we used to talk to the customers here that what is that you would like to see the traditional machines to a next level. And we got a lot of inputs from the customers. So the initial launches or initial prototype designs were completely customer based design, and that's a big lesson which I have learned. In any new product development, you have to have customers or the future in mind, because if you just copy and paste, it will not last long. So from there we came back. We for a couple of years we worked with a rented premises, but of course we built a team. We built a strong team. All initial days, it was wonderful to work with the old colleagues, the new team members, and it was so nice that it becomes like in army, you come from various states, and you become part of one team, and you work for the nation. So it was a similar kind of feeling. We developed many models, which is whether it's for automotive industry or for medical industry or household industries. So we developed products from the baseline, and we didn't want to offer products. We wanted to offer solutions. A customer comes and I want to produce a bottle for mineral water. So we thought we should give him a bottle solution, not a plastic machine.
Go beyond the customer's expectations.
Absolutely. And we also we always thought that what is that additional we can give so that he can prosper, and with that we can also prosper. So this was all along being driven by our seniors like Mr. Patel I mentioned. At that time I had wonderful bosses like one Mr. Sarkar, Mr. Balgi. Of course, Balgi, Mr. NK Balgi, he's also a very, very great person and mentor. And he also hails from Kumta, which I came to know later. So I'm really fortunate that way, ma'am. We built a company from scratch. And today, when I see that the company is actually leading beyond the US company, US company, in fact, depends on India for research and development, for engineering solutions. And they always say that solutions from India is always fast but very, very accurate, because we can work in multiple coordinates. It is not one after the other. And we are also cost conscious. And we also look for improvement. So these are the qualities which they found out, and that is where the expectations from the parent company were being raised. And today, if we are doing $150 million business, it is primarily because of a fantastic team which we had, and we always wanted to do better than what we had with us.
Very good. And also, I'm sure you guys are also into exports, right, from India? So how does that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a wonderful story, ma'am. Actually, when we started, we thought India is a big market and we wanted to address Indian market. But at the same time, Africa was a very big market for us. And our earlier company where I used to work, Windsor, that had got a major share.
Okay.
But since Windsor market share was coming down, it opened up opportunities for us. So we went there and we sold our products. We had, in fact, in Africa, if you go, most of the plastic industry is 90% run by Indians. All Gujaratis and Sindhis are there. So it was very good for us. In fact, Americans never visited Africa for a single time. It was all managed by us.
Okay.
And we built a business almost, up to around 100 crores in all these years. We do right now around 140 to 150 crores a year. Again, the African continent, be it East Africa, West Africa, or Central Africa, we sell and service the machines. But at the same time, we also learn a lot, because the technologies, when you go into an African market, you have to see the nature of the workers who handle the machines, and it has to be appealing to them. I cannot give a high technology thing which he doesn't understand. So, these are the things which made us to always think and, make sure that the solutions are as needed and as required by the customers.
Okay. In fact, that brings me to this interesting point which we spoke prior to the interview. You were very pleasantly surprised to receive an invitation from the government of India for a Make in India seminar, right, which you attended. Tell us more about that, where you had interactions with Amitabh Kant, also with Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, who was at that point, I guess, a commerce minister, and of course,
Yes.
Prime Minister Modi actually addressing that seminar, and your interactions, and how have you been taking that forward?
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing for me to remember for the rest of my life. This was 2014. Modi government just resumed the functioning, and one day I was really surprised to receive a mail saying that you are invited to attend a one-day workshop at Vigyan Bhavan. In New Delhi, but this has to be for security reasons. This has to be kept very secret. So I flew to Delhi and participated in the workshop. I was so pleasantly surprised that it was all organized by Mr. Amitabh Kant, Mrs. Sitaraman, and various other secretaries of the Government of India, Commerce Ministry, Industry Ministry. We were all divided, not only from machinery manufacturers. I found that there are various other industries that represented there, like the ports, the shipbuilding, the heavy earth-moving machineries, film industry, and the entire industry sectors were there. And we were all put in various rooms, and we had brainstorming sessions. We had question answer sessions. We were asked, when we were interacting, I saw many secretaries and the deputy minister sitting there and listening to us. And I was so surprised that the questions were put up to us, and there was not a single interruption. There was not a no, aisa nahi ho sakta hai. All that was never there. They were 100% open to listen to us. They were taking notes. And even the big four, either E&Y or some other company were there, they were taking notes. So the morning went with all these interactive sessions. And I was one meeting, I was pleasantly surprised. I was sitting and interacting, and I saw somebody walking in and sitting behind me. And after some time, when I looked back, she was none other than Mrs. Sitaraman. I smiled at her, she smiled at me, and then in the tea break, she asked me, Mr. Divgi, are you comfortable? I said, yes, ma'am, it was very good, and I'm very happy to all that, initial interaction. And then she asked me that, is that something which you want to tell, but you are not able to tell? These kind of exploring and trying to understand what happened. I mean, I found it very positive, and
I think they were also open to a very transparent discussion. Accept what's happening on the ground, understand it better.
Absolutely. Many points were discussed, and we made a presentation by 4 o'clock. We prepared a presentation, and it was supposed to be presented in the auditorium in front of the Prime Minister. Of course, Arun Jaitley was there. All the ministers were there. And ma'am, let me tell you, I mean, that day I realized what is the power of time. We were told that 6 o'clock Prime Minister will be addressing the gathering, and sharp at 6 o'clock he walks in.
Wow.
Absolutely, I mean, at 6 o'clock. And we started the presentation, and I saw that for 2.5 hours the Prime Minister was sitting on with a pad and pen, and he was taking down the notes. And he probably had later on lot of interactions, because later on we were asked many questions to be expanded. They wanted data to be given, because government works on data.
Yeah.
So a lot of data they asked us. So it was for next 2 years. It was a very heavy interaction. And I think whatever you see today, the way industry is growing, it was all hard work by this government, the secretaries, I feel normally the Prime Minister or the Commerce Minister, they take the credit. But I have seen that even as secretaries and deputy secretaries and the government, they were also working so hard and sincere. I think all good things we see today, we should really salute the entire team, uh, not just the Prime Minister or the industry minister.
Absolutely.
So I had this wonderful experience, and let me tell you, I was thinking that it was just one day session, but no, even today the interactions continue. Of course, it has expanded. It has gone to various levels. Like we discuss many things on policies, on trade, on trade barriers, on anti-dumping duties, on inverted duties. All these things are discussed in so much great detail. But the core is how India can grow. How can we be self-sustainable? What should be the future strategies? This is the core of everything. I mean, it's not just benefit of today and tomorrow. It is the future which is in front of them. I can clearly see that. So I'm very fortunate to be part of this process all these years.
Absolutely. So your interactions with the government of India, and if you look at India from a different lens, right, from that of a business which is expanding, growing, and of course the fact that it's in India and there's so much of fantastic support from the government. How do you see the growth of the country overall in the coming years, the India story?
Well, I frankly believe that India's story is definitely going to be very good and great. Because first of all, I believe that our basic cultural and the past heritage which we have, which is on a very, very strong foot, that is really driving us to be together, to look for growth areas in a very different way than the Western countries. What I typically see in Western countries is they're very good in marketing, but the initial conceptualization, the customer orientation, and beyond customer orientation, how it can serve the entire global requirements. Those kind of, today everybody is talking about sustainability. I think if you go back and read our scriptures, a lot of references of sustainability automatically comes there. So they are all imbibed in us. And of course, Western people are very good in marketing. We should learn from there, of course. But I think we possess great abilities to look at the future from the growth perspective. And also there is a beautiful saying which we all know, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Now that itself, and I have referred this in many of my conferences with US, and I think that has been communicated and accepted very well, that in India we see opportunity as a global opportunity. It doesn't really restrict us to thinking that what is in it for me or for us. We always look at it at a broader perspective. So that way, I think we are on a very, very strong foot. The second thing is, in India, with all these years of the British ruling us for years and looting us for years, we have realized somewhere, it may not come out very clearly, but we have really, in fact, realized that we have a lot of strengths, but we are hesitant. So that hesitation is opening up, and we are now becoming bold. You take example of the Commonwealth Games now. I mean, look at the people who are performing there. They are all from cities, and I mean, not cities, from villages.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
unthinkable.
the force is coming out.
Correct.
The people are realizing their potential. I think that's a great input for the growth in future for India. Coming to the industries in specific, I think we already have shown the world that what is that we can do in terms of software capabilities. So we are all respected from the entire global community that India is the best in terms of software. It all comes from the mind and the people who think. Now, going forward, I think there is a huge opportunity for us to display the same thing in various other things, be it agriculture, be it the machineries or automation or defense, or you name the field. I think there are so many good thoughts and work going on. For example, my uncle, one Dr. Ashok Gokarn, he's a great scientist, and he worked in National Chemical Laboratories. When I talk to him, I think that such a great person, but he has given his life for NCL, and he has got so many ideas. He's still working. But if you listen to him, I think we have really not taken the benefit of his potential. Now there are many like these people, ma'am. I think if you really scan throughout the country, you can all find these gems, be it a 80-year-old person or a 20-year-old youngster. I think we have a huge potential. Now everything is coming together. The Startup India, I think, many success stories. Of course, many projects fail also, but that's also a learning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
they will bounce back. I'm very sure they will bounce back. And I think further next 10-20 years are really great times ahead of us as Indians. And I think all that we have to do is we have to really be confident in front of the world. We have to be little, the one thing which, if you ask me what is that we are missing, I think the last run, like I always go back to cricket and say, it's not 99. You have to score that one run to register as a century.
The last
that one run, probably the last mile. That is what we are missing in terms of our product machineries. I always tell my people, the aesthetics play such an important role. First time the customer sees the machine, he knows that this is from India or this is from Japan, or I mean, we should have that perspective. So I think if these things are minor things are corrected and realized, I think we should be forced to reckon with in all the fields.
Absolutely. Very, very positive messaging there. So Shirish ma'am, if I have to ask you in terms of challenges, yes, you did mention about that one last mile connectivity, but we also have at the same time the demographic dividend, right? We have this young population in India. And again, my listeners here, a lot of them youngsters, right? What would be that messaging for them? Because are there any challenges that you as an industry face, maybe in terms of skill sets development, and how do you think this can be overcome?
Sure. I mean, I'm working on this from last many years in my own company. We have around 1,200 people, and I'll answer your question in the perspective of what I have been doing all these years. We get youngsters. We have a trainee pool of around 50-60 people, and we get from all across the country, from diploma, from engineers to the MTechs. So what I find is these youngsters come with lot of passion and learning and energy, but they want quick results. And in terms of some areas like industries, there is no shortcut. You have to go through that process, and that process has to be perfected. the skills can be developed only when you practice and practice. You cannot be a Tendulkar on day one. You have to practice, and you have to go through that grind. So I think that is one thing which I would sincerely ask the youngsters to look at it. There is nothing like shortcut. You have to work very hard, and hard work definitely pays you, if not today, tomorrow. That is one thing. I think the second thing is, somewhere I feel that in India we do not give due importance to ethics and compliances. Somewhere we falter. I have seen people falling for the petty things, which is wrong. I always tell them, never ever get into these traps, because this is temporary. Ethics and compliances, or doing it right way, or doing it the way I feel that yes, I am on the right path. If we do that, I think we'll be highly respectable across the world. If at all Indians are not respected, not every case, I'm talking about the cases which I know. That is one thing which I feel that we are having an impression that we do shortcuts even in ethics and compliances. Be it in government approvals, be it getting the work done faster. I think we should come out of it. These are the two things I think if we can do, we can definitely beat the world.
True. There are so many success stories within our own community, Bhanap community, and one of them, of course, is you. What would be your one last message to our community, and especially the youngsters, before we leave?
Well, again, I think we don't, the inspiration. If I think of your question from my perspective, I think all along I got inspired by many people. Like, for example, my childhood idol was Prakash Padukone. I played badminton, so he was my natural idol. So in fact, I have gone, whenever I used to go to Bangalore, I used to go and sit there and watch him play at the Canara. Yes. So in fact, recently I met him and I made him remember, Prakash Mam, I used to come and watch you. He didn't remember, but he smiled at me. So it was a great, but for getting inspiration and to follow what we want, there are so many examples around us. You really do not want to go and look at the Western world for getting the inspiration or getting the guidance. In our own society, for example, if I take Divgi family, Bhavani Shankar Divgi, since my childhood, he was always talked about. So he was in front of me always, even today. I respect him so much, because I sometimes feel that probably looking at him, I wanted to be something like him. So that was my inspiration. I talked about Dr. Ashok Gokarn. He's such a simple person, but when I meet him, I always think that I should be like him. You look at so many people around us, like you. I always look at your Aamchi Legend. This thing I heard Praveen Kadle Ma'am. I heard Nitin Gokal Ma'am. So much legends we have. If we really look at at their way they conduct themselves, or the way they communicate, I think those are great inspiration. And one sentence, if you want me to talk to my friends, youngsters, I think I'll definitely request them to observe these great people around us, within our family, within our community, within our society. I think you get a lot of inspirations.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, I'm so glad you also brought your Talmaki Wadi connection with the Divgi family, where you in your initial career, you were in Wadi and stayed, and, you pursued your career. So I'm so glad to know that. So yeah, on that note, Shirish Ma'am, thank you so much for joining in on this episode of Aamchi Legends. An amazing, an interview with you. And I'm sure a lot of our people who will watch this will have so much positivity that comes in from this whole episode. So thank you, Shirish Ma'am, once again.
Thanks a lot, Santosh Ma'am. I really appreciate, and thank you profusely from bottom of my heart for considering me worthy of this interview. I hope I have done justice, but I mean, I always thank you and all the team behind you to do this continuously and inspiring all of us. Sure. Wonderful work. So please continue doing it. I would love to watch your other interviews always. Thank you.
Definitely. And well, with that, we come to the end of this episode of Aamchi Legends. A big thank you to Samiir Halady, who has been conceptualizing, marketing, and of course, taking a lot of efforts in the back end, making sure that Aamchi Legends is a big success. And I would also like to mention the name of Shirish Mam's cousin, Mrs. Alka Bolangdi. She's actually ex-Wadi, right? And she's the one who referred me to Shirish Mam. And I'm so glad that she mentioned about Shirish Mam to us. And this is exactly what I would love you guys watching. If there are any members in your family who are doing amazing, tremendous, amazing, sincere work in our community and beyond for the country, please do reach out to us, either to me, Santosh Sirur at readifmail.com, or to Samiir Halady, which is sameerhalady@gmail.com. And well, we would love to make this Aamchi Legends an amazing journey of inspiration and a big country's development overall eventually. Yeah. From me at this point in time, this is Santosh Sirur, and of course from Shirish Mam Divgi. Thank you so much for watching Aamchi Legends.
Thank you.